Have you ever met someone who drives you crazy without even saying a word? Maybe it's their silence, their presence, or simply the way they look at you. You can't explain it logically, but deep down, you feel something powerful and unsettling. Carl Jung believed that these mysterious reactions are not random at all. They reveal hidden truths about our psyche, about the parts of ourselves we've repressed, and about the secret dance between our conscious self and our unconscious desires. In this video, we'll explore the psychology of attraction, projection, and the mysterious woman who drives you crazy even in silence. Jung's insights open the door to understanding why some people have such a profound effect on us, and how these encounters can lead to either obsession or transformation. Main idea 1. The silent power of presence. Sometimes the strongest impact doesn't come from words, but from silence. Think about it. A person walks into a room without speaking, yet all eyes turn to them. You sit with someone and the silence feels heavier than any conversation. You feel seen, exposed, or even unsettled, yet nothing has been said. From Jung's perspective, this isn't about the other person being magical. It's about the way their presence awakens something deep inside you. Silence becomes a mirror, reflecting what your own unconscious wants you to notice. Everyday example: imagine you're at a cafe, and a woman sitting across from you barely glances your way. She doesn't speak, she doesn't try to impress, but somehow you can't stop thinking about her. That crazy pull is less about her and more about what she symbolizes to you. Cultural comparison? Think about movies where the silent woman becomes the center of obsession, like a muse, a mystery, or a source of madness. She isn't necessarily doing anything. It's the projection that gives her power. Main idea 2. The archetype of the Anima. One of Jung's most fascinating ideas is the concept of the Anima, the inner feminine figure within every man's psyche. The Anima isn't just about women. It's about qualities like intuition, emotion, creativity, and receptivity. When a man encounters a woman who seems mysterious or magnetic, often it's because she activates his inner Anima. The attraction feels overwhelming because he's not just seeing her, he's also confronting a hidden part of himself. This explains why someone's silence can be so powerful. The less she reveals, the more the unconscious projects onto her. She becomes larger than life, almost mythical. Cultural comparison? Think about movies where the silent woman becomes the center of obsession, like a muse, a mystery, or a source of madness. She isn't necessarily doing anything. It's the projection that gives her power. Main idea 3. Projection and obsession. Jung warned that one of the most dangerous psychological mechanisms is projection, when we unconsciously place our own inner qualities onto another person. If you're disconnected from your inner world, you may project it onto someone else. That person then feels magnetic, irresistible, or even tormenting. In reality, you're chasing your own reflection, not the person themselves. This is why a silent presence can feel maddening. The less information they give you, the more space your unconscious has to project. Personal reflection? I've experienced this myself. There have been times when I couldn't stop thinking about someone who wasn't even doing anything special. Looking back, I realized it wasn't really about them. It was about me, what they represented, what I wasn't yet aware of in myself. So, when Jung speaks of the woman who drives him crazy even in silence, he's really pointing to this inner drama, the anima, projection, and the hidden power of presence. But this raises deeper questions. What happens when we confuse projection with reality? How can we differentiate between real love and unconscious obsession? And most importantly, how can we integrate these encounters into our growth instead of letting them control us? That's what we'll dive into next. Main idea 4. The thin line between fascination and madness. When someone's silent presence unsettles you, it can feel intoxicating, almost like magic. But Jung would say, be careful. The very intensity that fascinates you can also lead to obsession. Fascination is when you feel inspired by someone's presence. Obsession is when you lose yourself inside their image. The shift from one to the other often happens without you realizing it. Why? Because projection blurs reality. You're not falling in love with the actual person, you're falling in love with a reflection of your unconscious, projected onto them. Example from daily life. You see someone at work or university. They don't speak much, but you find yourself constantly thinking about them, daydreaming, even losing focus on your goals. It's not about who they are, it's about what they awaken in you. This is why you can feel driven crazy by someone who hasn't even spoken. Main idea 5. The mystery of silence. Silence has a strange effect on the human mind. When someone doesn't reveal much about themselves, our imagination fills the gap. Silence gives space for projection. The less we know, the more we fantasize. Our unconscious paints them as a goddess, a muse, or even a tormentor. Cultural example. In literature and film, the silent, mysterious woman often becomes the most unforgettable character. Think of Mona Lisa's smile. Her silence created centuries of fascination. But here's the danger. Fascination with silence can trap you in your own illusions. Instead of knowing the real person, you're interacting with your inner world. Ambience. Main idea 6. The Anima as teacher. For Jung, the Anima wasn't just a source of confusion. She was also a guide. The woman who unsettles you may be showing you qualities you've neglected in yourself. If you feel drawn to her mystery, maybe your unconscious is calling you to explore your own inner mysteries. If she disturbs you, maybe it's because you're uncomfortable with your own silence. In this way, the Anima can act as a teacher, though a dangerous one if you don't recognize her role. Personal reflection. There were times in my life when I met people who pulled me in with their mystery. I couldn't stop thinking about them. Later I realized it wasn't really about them, it was about me learning to accept my own intuition, my creativity, and even my vulnerability. The attraction was a signal, not a destination. Balancing real person versus projection. Here's a question Jung would want us to ask. Are you in love with the person or with your projection? If you barely know them but feel consumed, chances are it's projection. If you feel like they're perfect, flawless, or otherworldly, that's projection too, because real people are never perfect. If you find yourself disturbed by their silence, it may be your unconscious voice demanding attention. The path forward is integration, to realize that the woman is not a goddess or a tormentor. She's just a person. The power comes from what she awakens in you. Analytical comparison. Freud might have said this is about repressed desire. Jung, however, saw it deeper, about the unconscious trying to balance the psyche. The woman isn't just a sexual figure, she's symbolic of the inner feminine qualities that need recognition. Transition to deeper exploration. So far, we've explored why a woman's silence can drive someone crazy. Projection, the anima, and the mystery of silence. But Jung went even further. He believed that these encounters can act as gateways to transformation, if we're willing to face the shadow behind the fascination. In the next section, we'll explore the shadow side of obsession, historical and cultural examples of men transformed or destroyed by mysterious women, and how Jung thought we could turn this dangerous attraction into a path towards individuation.
Main idea 8. The shadow behind fascination. Every powerful attraction hides a shadow. Jung believed that the people who haunt us often embody the qualities we rejected or denied within ourselves. If her silence feels unbearable, Maybe it reflects your discomfort with your own inner silence. If her mystery drives you mad, maybe it's because you've neglected your own mysterious, intuitive side. If you're obsessed with her beauty or aura, maybe you've disconnected from your own sense of creativity and soul. Everyday example. Imagine someone who always seeks validation in social groups, but then becomes fascinated with a woman who is quiet and self-contained. Her silence disturbs him because it shows him what he lacks: the ability to be at peace without external approval. In this sense, the woman is not the problem, she's the mirror, and mirrors can be terrifying. Main idea 9. Historical archetypes of the dangerous woman. Throughout history, myths and stories are filled with women who drive men crazy with their silence, beauty, or mystery. Jung believed these figures were archetypal. They reveal universal patterns in the human psyche. Helen of Troy. Her presence started a war, though she did not act directly. She became the projection of countless desires. The sirens in Greek myth. They didn't need to fight or speak much. Their presence alone lured sailors to destruction. Salome or femme fatale figures in literature and film. Mysterious, silent, often more powerful in absence than in action. Culturally, these figures represent the anima when it is projected outward. They show the danger of not recognizing that the power lies within ourselves, not in the other person. Transformation or destruction. Jung believed that encounters with such figures can go in two directions. Destruction. If you remain unconscious of projection, you may lose yourself in obsession, confusion, or despair. You chase the person, not realizing you're chasing your own shadow. Relationships collapse under the weight of unrealistic expectations. Your own inner life becomes consumed. Transformation. If you recognize projection, the experience becomes a catalyst for growth. The silent woman teaches you to embrace your own silence. The mystery you admire becomes an invitation to explore your inner mysteries. Instead of being consumed, you are expanded. Personal note. I've seen this in my own life and in people close to me. Some ended up broken by their obsession with someone mysterious and unavailable. Others realized, wait, that fascination is telling me something about me, and they grew stronger from it. The inner marriage. Main idea 11. One of Jung's most beautiful ideas is the concept of the inner marriage, the union of the masculine and the feminine within. The anima, the inner feminine, and the animus, the inner masculine, both live inside us. When you recognize and integrate them, you become whole. The obsession with the silent woman outside is really a call to unite with your own inner anima. This is what she drives you crazy, not because she has mystical powers, but because she awakens a longing for your own wholeness. Analytical comparison. Other thinkers have touched on this in different ways. For example, Plato spoke of love as a search for one's other half, but Jung internalized it. The other half isn't outside, it's inside, waiting to integrate. Transition to final lessons. So far, we've seen how silence, projection, the anima, and the shadow all combine to create this unsettling attraction. But Jung didn't leave it there. He believed that if we can face the silence without fear, if we can see through projection, and if we can integrate the anima, we can turn obsession into wisdom. In the final part, we'll explore practical ways to work with projection and shadow in relationships, how to turn disturbing attraction into a path towards individuation. And finally, the lessons Jung leaves us about love, silence, and the deepest mysteries of the psyche.
Main idea 12. Recognizing projection in everyday life. So how do you deal with this phenomenon when someone's silence or presence feels overwhelming? The first step is awareness. Ask yourself, do I really know this person, or am I filling in the blanks with my imagination? Am I in love with who they are or with what they represent to me? Does their silence trigger fascination because I am avoiding my own inner silence? By asking these questions, you start separating the real person from the projection. Practical example. Instead of obsessing over why she doesn't talk to me, ask, what part of myself am I refusing to listen to? That shift changes everything. Main idea 13. Turning attraction into growth. Carl Jung believed that every projection is a chance to reclaim a piece of yourself. If her mystery fascinates you, maybe you need to explore your own depth. If her silence unsettles you, maybe you need to practice sitting with your own silence. If she feels like a goddess, maybe you've forgotten the divine qualities within yourself. The goal isn't to suppress attraction, it's to transform it into self-knowledge. Personal reflection. I remember being captivated by someone's silence, almost painfully so. But when I journaled and reflected, I realized I wasn't really longing for them. I was longing for my own inner peace. That realization turned frustration into growth. Mirror. Main idea 14. Relationships as mirrors. One of Jung's most important lessons is that relationships are mirrors. Every strong reaction, love, hate, fascination, or irritation tells us more about ourselves than the other person. The woman who drives you crazy in silence is a mirror of your inner life. Once you see that clearly, you no longer feel enslaved by obsession. Instead, you feel empowered to integrate what you've been missing. This is the real secret behind the attraction. It's not about her, it's about you. Main idea 15. Individuation through love and silence. At the deepest level, Jung psychology isn't about analyzing others. It's about becoming whole. The silent woman awakens the Anima. The Anima awakens the shadow. The shadow awakens the need for individuation. If you can walk through that process consciously, the crazy obsession turns into an inner marriage, a harmony between masculine and feminine, conscious and unconscious, silence and expression. This is the path Jung described. Individuation, the journey of becoming your true self. XHTTF. Conclusion. What silence teaches us. So why does a woman's silence drive someone crazy? Because silence is not empty. It is full of meaning. It reflects the unconscious, it triggers projection, and it calls us to face parts of ourselves we've ignored. Carl Jung's message is clear. If you're brave enough to look into the mirror of silence, you'll discover that the real mystery is not her, it's you. Final question. Now I want to ask you, have you ever been haunted by someone's presence, even when they didn't say a word? What do you think it revealed about you? Share your experiences in the comments. I'd love to read your stories. And if this video helped you understand Jung's insights in a new way, don't forget to like this video, comment with your reflections, subscribe for more deep dives into Jung, psychology, and the mysteries of the human soul. Because sometimes the quietest people show us the loudest truths about ourselves.